agreed to, and I call the honourable member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, where do I begin? I'm probably about to make myself very unpopular in this chamber, but sometimes you've got to stand up and speak the truth and do what is right. And the simple reality is I have not had any enthusiasm ever for the My Health system. It's a bad policy introduced by the Labor Party when they were last in government. Had I been elected in Parliament at the time, I would have stood up and spoken against it and said, I don't think it's right. I don't like the idea of a centralised system recording people's health records, least of all when the law doesn't even put limitations or protections in the legislation around who can access it, so busybody bureaucrats, tax officials and people merely seeking information can access it. This is Labor's legacy to health. This is Labor's legacy to My Health and establishing this. And why? To solve, frankly, what I consider to be a non-problem. These schemes around the world, and you go and look at other countries everywhere, My Health systems or their equivalents, and you know what comes out? They're models proposed by technocrats and high-priced consultants to questionable problems in terms of health record keeping. Funnily enough, they all seem to make a lot of money out of it. And over time they become lumbered with more and more information and obligations until basically get to a point where nobody uses them anymore. And in the end they become a massive waste of money and they aren't used in the way that they're designed or the purpose in which they're trying to solve. And that's the basis and that's the legacy of Labor's My Health system. And that's why, Deputy Speaker, I spoke out and said, I opted out. And I don't make any apology for that, because you hear the hypocritical arguments being put forward by the member for Ballarat, amongst others. They get up and they lecture the current government about My Health and how we haven't done enough. We are fixing their problems, Deputy Speaker. They're the ones who introduced the system that didn't put the security and safeguards in place. I welcome what the government is doing to fix up Labor's mess, who are responsible for the problems and the practices that sit at the heart of this law. I've also said publicly, Deputy Speaker, that my belief is it should remain an opt-out system. That has not changed and that will not change. I think that's core to the tenets of liberalism. And as I said, that's one of the reasons why I opted out. But if we're going to have a system, such a system designed by the Australian Labor Party and legislated 2 parliaments ago, then we should at least have these types of security mechanisms sitting at the heart of it. And what do we have? The Australian Digital Health Agency will have obligations put on it about how information is to be disclosed and to make sure that there are appropriate penalties should information be disclosed in an appropriate way. The bill will require the system operator to delete health information it holds for any consumer who has ever cancelled their My Health record. And to support these amendments, we have an extension of the opt-out period. Very good. Congratulations to the Minister for doing so, because your health records, the health records of the Australian people, should be private. They should be a matter for you and your doctor, not tax accountants, bureaucrats, police officers going off to try and find information without any just cause and without a warrant. This bill is so welcome, Deputy Speaker, because it fixes the legacy that we inherited. So I say to the Minister for Health, congratulations for doing the right thing in fixing Labor's flawed My Health system. Thank you.
I thank the honourable member.